This is Millennial Money Mindset. If you want the fruits, you need the roots. Today we're talking about the richest man in Babylon, and stay right to the end where I will give you one money tip that will help you with your money investing and saving. So, Richest Man in Babylon. So I think probably one of the biggest known and probably the best personal finance books out there. So Richest Man in Babylon was written by George Clayson, and yeah, it's probably like the grandfather of personal finance. So if you're starting out, highly recommend this book. We're going to go through three main points of why this book is so good. And yeah, so my name is Neil Doig. I am the author of Millennial Money Mindset. If you want the fruits, you need the roots, and the creator of the card game Football Formation Asset Allocation. I have a podcast called Millennial Money Mindset, and this is my YouTube channel called Millennial Money Mindset. So we're giving away as much value and as much as guidance and information as we can for you to help you make your own decisions with your money. So we're going to go through the three main points I got from The Richest Man in Babylon. So to save you time from reading it, although if you want to read it, do read it because I highly recommend it. So I don't have the book with me, I've actually given it away. So quite often I give books away to clients if I think that it would really benefit them. So I actually gave this book to a rock band, believe it or not. They were called Superfoods, and I met these guys and they just literally signed their first album deal, and I was like, yeah, maybe I can kind of help you out with your kind of savings and investments. And they were like, no, we're just going to spend our money on cocaine and drink and rock and roll lifestyle. So it's quite challenging to try and say, no, you must save into a pension. So yeah, I tried as much as I can, and I ended up giving them this book, The Richest Man in Babylon, and to help them make decisions. Because it boils down to, essentially, this is all you need to know. If you're just starting out in your financial journey, read this book, and it is really good. I would argue it's one of the only books that is better than my own book, Millennial Money Mindset, because it covers such fundamentals, but it's real personal finance, whereas Millennial Money Mindset goes much more into investing and trading and more personal finance as well. So what are these three tips? Right, so number one is, part of all I earn is mine to keep. So think about that. So a part of all I earn is mine to keep. So a lot of people I've met and say, oh, look, I can't afford to save. Like, I've got bills, I've got expenses, I've got credit card bills. Yeah, I know it's tough, and doing this is much easier when you're starting out. If you just start a new job and then say, right, 10% of that money is going right into your savings account, and then you don't even need to think about it or worry about it. If it's set up automatically, you don't even need to stress or worry about it anymore. And that's the kind of key to everything. And if you've already started your journey and your weekly expenses are quite high, then it's almost harder to start halfway down the journey than it would be if you're only kind of starting out in this journey. So a part of all I earn is mine to keep. So that's super important. So think of it, just saving a little bit every month, and over a long term, that will build up and grow more and more. So that's number one. So think of this, like, the way I describe it is like having each gold coin or each pound coin is like a worker. So imagine you have your own little factory, your own little business. So every time you go out and you get paid, you get money. And imagine this pound coin is like a little worker, and then they go and work in your factory while you're sleeping, or you're doing your own job, or you're out with friends enjoying yourself. This little pound coin's working away from you, and you can work it as hard or as little as possible. But then if you look after this pound coin, give it more pound coins, then it will start having a family, and this family will have children, and they'll have children's children, and this will grow exponentially. And essentially this little tiny business that you have will grow into a factory and then a multinational company as you grow more and more wealth. So think of it like, that's the best way I can describe it. Like, part of all I earn is mine to keep. So think of this like your pound coin, like a little factory worker that's going to work for you day and night, and it will grow over time. So that's number one. And then, so number two, my big takeaway from this book is life is good. Like, don't stress and worry too much about saving, being frugal, being worried about money all the time. Like, get this handled in your life, and then you can go and worry. You don't have to worry about this anymore. That's the thing. This is what I'm trying to teach. Stress and worry around money is the number one cause of stress today with 25 to 40-year-olds, and this is the problem I'm trying to solve. But doing simple, easy tasks that are set up. You can set up an automated system, so you don't need to worry and stress about this anymore. So live according to your means. So this means that how much you get paid is how much you're able to spend. So you want to be spending less than you earn. So that's super, super important. So let me say that again. So spend less than you earn. So this book is like packed full of wisdom. So it's called The Richest Man in Babylon. And if you actually look at the history of Babylonian time, it was called like Mesopotamia, and it was the first place where humans became in cities, and we lived like this for thousands of years, and we were really successful and really prosperous, where we first started writing and we started learning law and having our own kind of peaceful societies. This is why this book is so kind of powerful, because it instills these kind of moments of wisdom that it might not sound, and you may read it and kind of brush over it, but you have to kind of read it a few times. Like, I've read this book so many times, and even I still learn from it. So remember, like, life is good, but spend less than you earn. So that's super, super important. And then as soon as you get paid, put that money away, and then you don't have to worry and stress about it. And I'm just trying to make things as easy and simple as possible. So the third and final step that they talk about in The Richest Man in Babylon, or my kind of big takeaways from this book from George Clayton, is to make your gold multiply. So make your gold multiply. So what does that mean? So it can feel good keeping our money just in our purse or just in our wallet, and it's sat there, and it kind of keeps us comfortable, and it kind of gives us kind of reassurance and kind of security that our money's there if we need it. And I do recommend having an emergency fund, and we talk about this in other videos and through my 5-step method of money mindset that we go through in my coaching course with my clients. So it's a 5-step method to money mindset, and one of those methods is having an emergency fund. So it is important to have an emergency fund, but what this is saying is make gold multiply. By doing this, you invest into businesses, into property, or lending your money, so it's like reserves. And then this is really how you build wealth up over time, by making gold multiply. And if you invest in the right industries, or the right sectors, or the right growing industries, so think of it like asset allocation. We talk about this in the 5-step method as well. And you can actually, the more assets you have, the more risk you can take, and that means the more reward you'll get in the future. So number 3, have gold multiply. And yeah, it's about, he also talks about, even if you're in a job and you're like, well, I can't afford to save, there are certain things you can do in your job, like doing more than you're paid for. So if you're in a job and you're paid to do a certain amount of tasks, you have a checklist that you do each time, then actually by doing the checklist, maybe coming in a bit earlier and doing more than you're actually paid for, maybe taking on more responsibility and helping out your boss a bit. Actually, I can do that myself, and that means you can freeze up your time to kind of more important and more kind of value that's going to be contributed. You can actually do more for what you're paid for, and then that means that when it comes around to getting your pay, when you're getting pay reviews, then you're like, well, actually, I did take on this responsibility, and you get paid more. And with this more money, then you can save it and invest it even more. And it's kind of it's a cycle that keeps going round. That if you do more, then you get more. Do more and get more, and then you can invest more. Does that make sense? So it sounds really simple, and this book is so simple, but still I'd recommend anyone picking up this book and reading it. And I'll put a link to Amazon in the comments. So yeah, please read it. Has anyone read this book? It's super. Yeah, it's super. I would say it's really simple, but sometimes simple is the best thing to do. So read in your comments, what was your big takeaway? Do you do certain things? Do you not agree with it? What was your big aha moment? So my 3 big aha moments was, it's the greatest personal finance book, but spend less than you earn. Part of everything that you have is yours to keep, and then make gold multiply. And then also to add on to kind of a bonus in there is learn from others that have done before you. So it's so easy to kind of, like any life skill, any like new experience or any skill, you can just kind of try and do it yourself and figure this stuff out. But you can learn much quicker if you just find out who's been successful previously and work out what they have done. A lot of this stuff might be counterintuitive, so it doesn't make sense initially. Like paying yourself first, which I'll come to in a second, rather than waiting to the end of the month, might sound counterintuitive, but it makes it so much easier. So the one tip at the end that we started about, that I mentioned at the first step of this video, is pay yourself first. So important, and that's my number one law of money accumulation in my book, Millennial Money Mindset. And if you want to buy my book, it's in the comment section below, or it's in the section below. So yeah, check that out. It was shortlisted by the Financial Times, gives you the 3 laws of money, and it gives you a 10-step method to becoming financially independent and retiring earlier. And we also have a coaching course which I use, a football formation asset allocation card game. So this has been the Richest Man in Babylon. So just to summarize the 3 main points. So every gold coin you keep should be yours, and you should save that. And part of everything you earn is yours to keep. So everything you earn, save a bit. Number 2 is life is good. Don't get stressed out too much about trying to save and invest. Life is for living. So yeah, live your life. So don't spend your life clipping coupons just to save 30p on a pair of trainers. Question, do you really need these pair of trainers in the first place? That's a different mindset switch, and it's spending your money wisely, or saving your money at the start of the month, paying yourself first, and then you can spend whatever you want. If you want to buy those trainers, go for it, because you've already paid yourself first, so it doesn't matter. And then third rule, make gold multiply. So don't just keep it in a cash reserve, is what I mean. Don't just keep it in a bank sitting there doing nothing. Invest it. It might be scary to invest. Like there is, especially with the recent crashes or the market crashes that happen, we get scared to invest. It's an emotional attachment. But if you're investing for the long term, that's where the magic happens. That's where compound interest comes in, and that's where you're investing for the long term, because you're giving value. You're not trying to take value, which is what I see a lot of people doing when they're speculating. They're trying to take the short-term gains rather than trying to give, and that's essentially the difference. That's the difference between a mindset change. You're giving rather than taking. So this has been Millennial Money Mindset. If you want the fruits, you need the roots. We have reviewed The Richest Man in Babylon, and we've gone through the main points, and my one big takeaway was pay yourself first. It's so obvious. I've been telling you guys this for years, so you know this already, but please just set it up, automate it. If you haven't done it, it's so easy, and then you can go and spend your time doing the things you want to do with your loved ones, with your friends, starting your own business, doing your bucket list, or just having more me time. It's easy stuff, it's simple stuff, but we can all do it, and we all need to do it. So this is Millennial Money Mindset. My name's Neil Doig, author of Millennial Money Mindset. If you want the fruits, you need the roots. Please like, please subscribe, and please tell one person about Millennial Money Mindset. If you want the fruits, you need the roots.
Money Mindset.
I think that sounds alright.